Hey folks, Sir Charles Carey back with another episode of What's Your Come Up Story. And tonight we've got a really good show. In fact, we're starting off a little bit. We're broadcasting from our studio in New York City, so it's always good to come back home, come back to the motherland, and I'm glad to be here. The energy in the city is like none other. But tonight's guest, you've probably heard her or seen her from 104.1. She's a singer, a songwriter, she's a pianist. I mean, she does it all. And I'm sure when you get to see her right now, right today, you'll be like, oh, wow. Yes, oh, wow is right. Because we have none other than Ronnette Rollins comes up. And I probably just jacked up her name. She'll get me when she comes up to the forefront. Ronnette Rollins, for the rest of y'all who don't know no better. Let me bring her on up so she can let me have it. I'm sorry.
You actually did a good job. You did a good
job. Oh man, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm grateful. You know, I tell people all the time, I am grateful. I take nothing for granted. You know, I woke up this morning and someone else did not. So I am grateful that I get a chance to do the things that I do, go to places I go, and you know, just enjoy life still. So. Yeah, so you know, it's all good. It's all good.
Absolutely. I totally understand. I sang for a funeral this morning, so I get being grateful. Yeah, I get it. Being grateful. Absolutely.
Yeah. So look, I'm in another location. We're in our New York studio, and we don't have half the gear that we have in Maryland. So I'm like, I had to run out to Best Buy and buy some stuff. But again, you probably know a little bit about that, being that you're an artist also. Having the right gear is essential to any production going over well.
Absolutely.
So look, we're going to go from yesteryear to right now, and we're going to talk about the future, okay?
Okay. All right.
So where are you originally from?
Oh, my goodness. So I am from what we like to call the DMV. For those who may not know, that's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Or for those of us from here, DC, Maryland, and Virginia.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
We was in the same place of worship for a while. I haven't been in a long time. The New Macedonia Baptist Church.
There's a lot of Macedonians and a couple New Masses. But there's only one New Macedonia Baptist Church. So yeah, shout out to the New Mass family.
That's no doubt. Look, my family's still there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to ask you, what was life like growing up for you?
Oh my goodness. I was forever on the move. Like I didn't have what most would call a normal childhood. It was all. I'm trying to get this angle right. I'm sorry. I'm in my car. I call it my car/office, my carfus. So I've always been on the move with my godmother, who you very well know, Shirley Abels, and the Joy Gospel Singers, singing with them, singing on my own, playing for different churches. I was always pulled out of school, for a performance or for rehearsal or to travel. So, but it was wonderful. It was wonderful. I loved it, doing what I love to do, serving the Lord and getting paid to do it. I mean, it don't get no better than that, right?
Look, make $1 in the difference any day.
Hello. Yeah, absolutely.
That's fantastic. So since I know that's an upside, what would you say was the toughest part of that experience at that time in your life?
Not having a normal childhood. So it was almost like
it was Michael Jackson.
Exactly. It was a plus and a minus at the same time, not having a lot of the experiences that a lot of my classmates did, the regular childhood stuff, the stuff that we take for granted. And we're not even going to talk about dating, Sir Charles. Okay, we ain't going to talk about that because, oh my goodness, like I literally had to leave the house in order for that to happen. Because
I believe it.
The right reverend and the good deaconess they won't having it. They just was not having it.
Trust me, I believe it. I remember growing up, for me, the biggest thing, especially in church, was wanting to sing with the choir, because you singing everything else at home. And then when you finally get to sing with the choir, you want to be with the ensemble. And then it's like, can I get a solo?
Right.
Man. So you've been doing this all of your life, basically.
All my life. Yes, literally.
And you still love it?
I still love it. I really do. I still love it. I also love and appreciate how God has directed my path, so to speak. I know it sounds cliche, but it's really the truth. Being able to move from music and still be in music, but now on the radio side has
Yeah, I want
been
to ask you about that. How long
it's
have you been in radio now?
5 years and some change, 5 years and counting now. Can you believe it?
You're a vet.
If anybody had told me 10 years ago I would be in radio, I was like, whatever, I'm not hearing that. But I absolutely love it. I get paid to run my mouth. And, I always have a thought. Okay. So, like, I get
Look,
paid to talk.
now
Cool.
as a speaker, one of the things the speakers say, I never met a mic that I didn't like.
That part. Exactly.
So I am with you right there, no doubt. Hook, line, and sinker. Wow. So I mean, obviously you get a chance to speak and you get paid for it, and that's great. What are the challenges in that industry?
Minding what you say.
Mm.
I learned very quickly that, we are influencers, so to speak, when we're on that microphone. So remember when the pandemic happened, when
Right.
it first happened, and then they came out with the what do you call it? The vaccine.
Yeah.
And it was very important for us to now I was definitely pro. Yeah, thank you for backing that up because my face, woo, I need you to put a filter on that thing to take some of these pounds off. But anyway,
You're good. You're good.
but we had to, while some of us wanted to encourage people to get vaccinated, you
Yeah.
didn't want to come off as if you were telling people what to do. So you could say, okay, here are the options. There's get vaccinated or not, wear your mask. If you don't get vaccinated, at least wear your mask. So it was a lot of that,
Absolutely.
learning how to toe the line, learning how to get my point across without condemning a certain
Oh my
demographic or
goodness.
whatever. That's the biggest lesson that I've learned. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
So now, do you ever spin any of your own songs?
So about that. So I am just literally, well, I'm choosing my words right here. I am what they call a talking head. So
Okay.
I'm not the one that's programming the music. We
Okay.
have
I
a
got you. I
program
got you.
director for that. So there's a program director who programs the songs, and I am blessed that they have, they spun my music a few times, and I'm
Nice.
grateful for that.
That's nice.
Grateful
Yes.
for that.
Yeah. I don't think anything is wrong with that. I mean, look, when I listen to other stations, and I realize, depending on the station, there's
That
certain
part.
people, Donnie's going to play. You're going to
Listen,
play Frankie Beverly. You're going
that's
to have
right.
someone play Michael Jackson, and there's Chuck Brown, there's several people he plays, and that's fine. I
Yeah.
believe that the culture or the personality of the station the music should emulate that
Yeah.
personality, that culture, that vibe, that groove, whatever it may be.
Absolutely.
But that's all right. So now I want to ask you some questions that kind of like, I guess, maybe challenge you because these aren't necessarily the traditional question that people ask. And I want to start off with, is there any area in business where you want to be better?
Absolutely. For me, all areas of business, but more specifically, let's see. Again, trying to make sure I word it right. I want to make sure that even though I am a one-person team,
Right.
you understand what that means. I don't have call my manager or call this person, call that. I'm doing literally everything. So
Okay.
I want to make sure that I conduct all of it the same. So you know how you do business with somebody that you've known for years a
Yes.
certain way, and then somebody you just met, you do business a little differently. You're a little bit more on point with it.
Yeah.
So my goal is to definitely get better at treating them all the same.
I'm glad that you spoke to that. I'm glad I asked the question. I'm glad you spoke to that because sometimes it can be very challenging when you're working with people, and
Yes.
sometimes just working with people, period, because people will say, "Oh, I know about this, or I've experienced in that," and they
Yeah.
may be, but when the rubber hits the road, hello,
Mm,
where are they?
yeah,
Sometimes they are
right.
nowhere to be found,
Nowhere to be found.
and I found that has encouraged me and forced me to be a true, not that I want to, but a true solopreneur, because I felt in many cases that I couldn't rely on anyone, and I
Right.
had to do it myself, and that takes away from the talent because now I'm doing the back end when I could just be focusing on the talent and going deep, driving deep. But now I got to focus on the sales. I got to focus on marketing and promotions,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's real talk, though. That's real talk.
Absolutely, and it teaches you, it hones you, it sharpens you, like, it really does improve you all the way around. It even though it can feel frustrating in the moment, you realize down the line, like, "Man, I learned, I've grown,
Yeah,
and now I can handle all of this," and, so it is a blessing, all
it
of this
is.
at
It
the time.
is. I tell most of my clients, and my children even, look, you should learn every aspect of your business. That
Yep,
doesn't mean that you're going to always have to do everything, but you should know how it's
right,
supposed to work, so
right,
that when you hire someone, you know whether you're getting your worth,
right,
and you
right,
know whether someone's trying to take advantage. And
absolutely,
you can course correct if necessary if you know.
yes, absolutely.
Another question is, what is success to you?
What is success to me? That's a good question. Um, Now, listen, had this been about 20 years ago, I'd have been like, I'd had all this money and, I'd be in this kind of house. But the older, wiser me
Right.
says that success to me is being fulfilled in every aspect of my life, being happy, safe, sound, secure, my family's good, husband, my bonus baby, we're all good. We're all thriving in
Right.
the areas that God would have us to be in. And to me, that's success.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. There's nothing like quality of life. You,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can keep chasing the money, you can keep chasing
Oh
the
my
gigs,
goodness.
but can you appreciate it? Can you enjoy it?
Right. Are you fulfilled in it though? Like, or are you just tired of ripping and running? Like, are you making an impact? Are you busy being busy or are you busy doing what God wants you to do? Like, and those are two totally different things. And that's
Right.
something I had to learn.
Look, getting ready to get ready.
Listen, right. Exactly. Exactly.
Have you done any reality shows?
I have not. Many people say I should, but ooh, child, I don't think, mm-mm.
They ain't ready for you, huh?
No, no, no. I'm not ready for
I did
I am
one.
not ready
Actually, I did
for
a couple. The biggest one was called the keynote, and I think if you get with the right people or with the
Uh-huh.
right situation or just the timing, if the timing is right, I think it can be really instrumental to you as a person and to your craft as well.
Okay.
So, if the opportunity comes your way, consider it. Consider it heavily.
I will
Now,
consider it. You speaking that. Okay, Sir Charles. All right.
what? Let me ask you this: what is your fondest memory? Not professional, personal, just in general. What is one of your fondest memories?
Um, I would have to say, honestly, and this sounds so simple, but it means a lot to me. Being surrounded by my family, uh,
Mm,
being surrounded by loved ones, and just laughing until your side hurts,
yes,
like
yes, yes.
just having a good old time with family. Those are the fondest memories that I have. And for me, that's a lot of holidays, sometimes hospital visits, but yeah, it would definitely be my family.
Yeah, I think some for myself it would be very similar. One of the best times I've ever had is when we've gone to my sister's house, and had either Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner, or whatever the occasion was, and they break out the game of Taboo.
It's
Oh
a
my,
wrap. It's
it's
a
a
wrap
wrap.
to bring out some games.
Oh my goodness. You look up at the clock, you're like, oh my God, where has the time gone? You didn't burned up a lot of hours laughing and
Yeah.
fussing and eating, and it's just such a well-rounded time. And I really wish, honestly, some of today's families can enjoy that or experience times like that.
Mhm.
Not saying that they don't, but I think they would appreciate each other a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see what else we got. What's your greatest strength?
Oh, wow. I think that my greatest strength would have to be teaching.
Oh,
Um, and it would also be, I don't know if helping people is the word, but I'm kind of like the Dear Abby.
okay,
You know,
okay,
come and talk to me about your issues, and it stays right here, and you can be your real self in sharing, and then if the Lord gives me anything to say, I'm gonna say it, and we're gonna pray, and you're gonna be all right, because that's just how it is. But I think those two things are my greatest strengths: being able to teach, having the ability to teach, because not everybody can do it, and
yeah,
teaching different things. One of the most powerful tool in having as a teacher is being able to teach a specific thing more than one way, because we all know
yeah,
that we learn differently,
yeah.
so some people learn visually, some people learn by reading it, some people have to learn through
Kinesthetic. Yeah, yeah,
experiencing,
yeah.
so being able to assess your students or those who are learning, your clients or whatever, and then being able to help them in that way, that's more helpful to them, it's
Right.
more suited to them. That's a powerful thing.
It is. It is.
Mhm.
You're talking about teaching. I understand that you do vocal lessons. Are you still doing that?
So I used to do private piano and voice lessons. And for those who may not understand, let me break that down. So if you have no experience with piano, no experience with singing, that's what lessons are for. And so my students will come maybe once a week or once every other week.
Hmm.
But now I moved out of the lessons and gone into coaching. So with coaching, I will help or assist an artist who is working on an event, an upcoming event, a gig, whatever it might be, a solo
Right.
performance, an ensemble performance. And I am coaching them in preparation for that event or for that gig. So
That's
that's what I'm
male
doing.
and female.
Yes, uh-huh. That's what I'm doing now, and I absolutely love it. I found that, because I take it seriously,
Yeah.
uh, and I do this. This isn't just, "Oh, I do it for fun." No, baby, I do this. This is my 9 to 5,
Right. Right. Right.
So,
Exactly.
and I expect it from my students, and so it's hard to expect that, from people who that's just not what they wanna do, and I have to respect that,
Yeah.
even though I may see more talent there than they want to dive into, I have to respect, okay, this is not your path, and that's okay. But in the meantime, I don't want to be frustrated and irritated and rolling my eyes in the lesson because that's not fair to the student. So
Yeah. That reminds me. A friend I grew up with. We sang in at the Martin Luther King Ensemble, and so outside of that, we had interest in doing stuff too. I know I did. I always was and is an entrepreneur at heart. So I
mhm,
finally got him to commit to get together with me and my best friend, and we were going to do this gig. And I was like, wow, I was like so excited that he agreed, because to me, his vocal talents far surpassed mine, but he
mhm,
had zero interest in recording anymore. He had recorded in the past. He had
uh-huh,
zero interest in recording moving forward. And he was like, oh, I'll do it for you, man. All right, whatever. And I just loved his voice.
wow,
And I just think, he could riff. He just had that right texture, and
mm,
he since hasn't done anything with it, and that's his choice. But I just couldn't understand it. How can
yeah,
you not want to use
right,
that tool, that
yeah,
gift? You
right,
know.
exactly,
Meanwhile, I'm looking at myself as a regular Joe, and I'm like crazy in love with it.
exactly,
But it's all good.
exactly. Mhm.
So now, how many instruments do you play?
I play piano and I also play the organ, and that is it.
Okay.
Now, Sir Charles, I have tried I think when I was in elementary school, I tried the violin for a hot second. My mother said, "Nope, it sounds like a cat that is screaming. I can't do it." And then I tried the saxophone.
Okay.
That wasn't my ministry either. And then
Right,
in
right.
college, I tried a little guitar because India Ari was hot at that time. You know, she had came on
Yeah.
real big. It that wasn't my ministry either, but that's all right. I'm good with the give me
That's
the black and
okay.
whites all day. I'm here for it. I'm here
Look, I play by ear, and that's about as far as I can hear. Look, I just made that up because it's real, though. I mean, I produce my
for it.
own stuff now, but I love music. I always will. I speak more than I perform or do any kind of musical engagements, but I'll never
Okay.
let music go ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a studio right now, and anytime there's a lull,
Mhm.
I'm in there creating, and
Mhm.
I just love it. But I want to ask you something else more about your music.
Mhm.
Um, so when you talk about these projects for different artists or potential artists or events that are coming up, do you do vocal arrangements or support people with vocal arrangements?
I will definitely support with vocal arrangements. So I actually had a client who was not um well versed in being able to ad lib and things like that. And so
Okay.
I was able to help the client come up with ad libs based on the lyrics of the song and the message that they were trying to convey, using their
Mm,
own personal thoughts and things like that, and being able to do it in the ad lib. Because ad lib is not always what you say, but how you say it or how you sing it.
yeah,
So, that will help convey the message and make it a little more powerful, have an pack
absolutely.
more punch. So, definitely things like that. Now, background vocal arranging, I used to love to do it. I stopped doing that, but, there
Really?
are some amazing people in this area that, do some great vocal arranging.
Now, are you only gospel? Do you ever do any pop, any R&B, any other genres?
Absolutely. So, I am okay with singing all different types of genres. As a matter of fact, I think it was, oh my goodness, about a week or so ago, I did background vocals for an Eric Clapton tribute. Eric
Really?
Clapton.
Clapton. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Tears in
And it
Heaven?
was so much fun. It was so much fun. Eric Clapton was not there,
Okay.
but it was a tribute to him. So we did a lot of his songs and it was so much fun. It was so much fun. So as long as I don't feel comfortable singing anything derogatory or,
Right.
grind
Sure,
on,
sure.
don't do all that. I'm
Right.
classy with it, but,
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, my favorite Eric Clapton song is "Tears in Heaven." I know he was with a group that he was known for, and his solo
Uh-huh.
career is phenomenal. But my
Right.
favorite song is "Tears in Heaven." Attributed to his son who passed away
Mm,
by falling out of a window, unfortunately.
Jesus.
My sweetheart is on here. She
Mhm.
said, "I'm going to put my specs on so I can see what she said." Look, it's always easy when you can just look good without having to read.
Listen, sometimes we gotta put them readers on, okay?
She
I
said,
get it.
"Love it. Are you busy doing what God wants you to do? Quality of life is very important." That's my Sharon Parker. She also says, "Love Ronette's response is family love. Hashtag family love and hashtag fun times, hashtag happiness."
I
Yeah,
love it. I
that's
love it.
real.
Who was
That's
that?
real. Sharon Parker. That's my
Hey,
sweetheart.
Sharon Parker. Hey.
Yeah, she's holding. Look, she's holding it down in the DMV while I'm up here in NYC right now. No doubt.
All right now. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
So now, when it comes to piano,
Mhm.
you've probably been doing it so long, you probably can't even answer this question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. I mean, how challenging did you find it, or did you find it challenging? Did you find learning to play because you obviously can play chords in your solo or the bass G clef and treble clef? You can just rock out. obviously.
So I was a bit of a child prodigy when it came to piano. If
Okay.
you remember, um, I call her Aunt Shirley. My godmother Shirley A was our reference to her before. She opened like a music ministry, and it
Nice.
started with me, my god brother Nathan McFall, my girl Terry Vincent. There were so many of us, but we were like this core group of young people,
Okay.
and we literally spent our day, especially during the summertime, spent our days together. Uh,
Mm.
playing chords. Well, I learned to do this. Can you do this? Well, you try to do this,
Oh,
and I
I
did.
would love that.
Check this out. So it was that all day, every day in the summertime. And on top of that, we are performing with Aunt Shirley. So when she had something to do, we were like her opening act, so to speak.
Nice.
So having that kind of background, and then of course, as I got well, even at that age, and then as I got older, going to performing arts school. So I don't just play by ear. I literally can read music.
Read.
I
Okay.
can sight read on the spot. I can transpose, and without the button. Some of my music, he know what I'm talking
So she's the bad man of the jam. Okay, I got you.
I don't have to use the transpose button, and charting out music, all that kind of stuff I have the ability to do. So I've been doing it since what, 8 years old? 7 or 8. No, I was playing for churches since I was 8 years old. I started at about 6 or 7. So yeah.
So now you have a studio at home, right?
Somewhat, yes.
You have set up. You can record. You have a DAW.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
What's your preferred DAW?
My who?
Preferred studio setup. Your digital audio workstation.
See, that phone should have told you. I don't know nothing about none of that.
That's
So
okay. Can you
when
record
I
at
have
home?
I was going to say, when I have an idea or anything like that, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to do it on my voice recorder app on my phone. I know that sounds horrible, but I do. It's like, okay, I hear this melody or I have these lyrics. Let me just jot it down. So I put it on my voice recorder app. Then I'll go home. I have, let's see, it was, what's the one that comes
Logic, Logic Pro, or
on
guitar.
Apple? The one that comes on Apple.
Oh, Guitar Band.
That one.
Yeah.
And then after working at the radio station, it was Adobe for a hot
Nice.
second. So, but it's literally just to get the idea down.
Yeah,
And
sure.
then I called up one of the homies like, "Hey, I need your help."
Right. Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's all
I
right.
did try to learn Logic and Pro Tools and all that kind of stuff. I had a little bit of experience with it, but I'm not the best at it. So I know
Yeah,
how to stay in my lane.
I hear you, and that's what I meant. It's the same thing with doing events. When you've got to do it all, it takes away from the talent. So it's better if you have reliable people that know, because that's their area of expertise. And I'm with you 1,000%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. You
So
definitely gotta know your lane, and it's okay to stay in your lane. Even if you have the ability to do something else, it doesn't mean, okay, I need to start charging people to do that, because that's not fair to the people.
right, especially if you're not really taking it to heart, and you
Yes,
haven't become an expert or a subject matter expert, or you don't do it regularly enough. I agree with you.
absolutely, absolutely.
So, if you had a superpower, what would your superpower be?
Oh my goodness. That's a good question. I'm gonna have to put that in my back pocket and use that. Let's see. If I had a superpower, what would it be? Um, man, I would say man, that's a good question. I would say I wish I had the power to heal people
Mm.
from things that you cannot see on the outside, you know.
Wow, that's
A
that's
lot of
that's good.
yeah, a lot of us are hurting emotionally, mentally. You know what I'm saying? Those are things you can't see with the natural eye. And so I would say I wish I had the superpower to heal that, but the reality is, um, spiritually speaking, going through that healing process, especially with God, because you can only do it with God, it
Right.
makes you stronger and it makes you who you are.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if
I've
I had
never
to,
heard that before. That was really good because I usually get. Well, I'm me personally. I'll be honest with you. I'm usually thinking about, yeah, I want to fly in the air, get somewhere fast and all that.
right,
And that's more meaningful to be able to help people,
yeah,
heal people where they hurt.
yeah,
That's not
absolutely.
visible. Yeah, those
Hmm.
emotional
Oh my
wounds.
goodness,
Yeah,
yeah.
I definitely
Hmm.
hear you. So, what's coming up for Ronnette Rollins? What do what projects you have coming up?
So I am actually finally getting myself. You know, how you said we're getting ready to get ready. I'm getting ready to get ready to start recording again.
Nice.
I want to put out at least one more song. There was a moment where I thought, okay, maybe I'm done, with music. And I started to be okay with that. Like, I'm good. I don't have to be, in the front because I love singing background vocals. I really do. Um, and I love recording background vocals, but I was like, I've gotten what I like to call winks from God. You know how when you feel like God has not heard you on a particular thing, or he's just not answering, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you get these signs,
Yep.
and I've been getting a lot of signs lately about that, and I'm like, okay, God, I see you. It's like, okay, let me at least put out a song, because think about it, the way music is these days, you don't have to put out a record with 8, 10, 12 songs on it anymore.
Right.
Just don't. So
Yeah.
I
I
want to do
think
that.
I agree with you. As far as doing it with a more intentional purpose and from
Yeah,
a more meaningful purpose, because
right,
when you're not, as you say, when you're not hearing from God, I consider that sort of like a pruning process. You're
right,
going through something, or something's happening. Maybe it's timing, maybe it's you, who knows, maybe it's things around you, whatever, but it's a pruning process. It's not time to try to bear fruit right then and right there,
right, right.
So I definitely received that. And on the other part, it's so hard. I'm so old fashioned. I like getting in there and getting a full CD, but you're right. You don't really need to.
Not
And
these
the
days.
strategies have changed.
Yeah. With the streaming and the downloading and all that, you just need, a good song, a good graphic artist, so you can have a
Yeah.
good thumbnail pick, and that's it. So in addition to the song, I'm continuing with radio. I'm continuing with singing with others, especially in this area. And hosting, which is something else that I didn't know that I had a talent for, and that I actually love to do. I love hosting programs and shows and things like that. So it's
Like a
it's
person
been
that comes in to be the speaker for an event hosting or
oh, like an
creating.
MC. So far, I've been like an MC. I would love to be a speaker, definitely speaking from something that I've experienced, one thing that I'm super passionate about, if you can't tell already, is mental health awareness, all that kind of stuff. Um, my whole thing is, let's talk about it. I believe in Jesus and therapy because it all works together.
Yeah.
So, I definitely would love to lend my voice to that conversation. And whenever I'm asked to, or I feel the moving of the Holy Spirit to talk about it, I'm definitely open with it. So, you know,
Well,
different
maybe
things.
we can talk offline about some of those things because that's what I do. That's where my focus is. But
Okay.
yeah, so you're going to continue to be on air. You're
Yep.
going to drop a single. You're working towards dropping another single.
Yes.
You're going to begin doing more hosting, and you're keeping your options open for other endeavors. So that's great. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We got
Yeah.
another comment I want to read before we
Sure.
let you go because I know you've got things going on as well. Um, Sharon says, "Wow, power to heal people. You can't see from the outside. Powerful. Yeah, that is powerful.
Mhm.
Um, so how can people contact you if they want to get in touch with you about your music or anything? I don't know. What is your preferred communication?
So you can find me on social media at Ronnette Rollins, RonnettRollins. You can also go to my website to find more information, to find booking, all of that. I actually have a booking page. So if you have an event or something that you want, even with the vocal coaching, you can also reach out about that as well on the booking form. So everything is at Ronnette Rollins, or you can go to RonnetteRollins.com. I would love to host your next event or coach you for your upcoming gig.
Right, right.
Sing background vocals or sing an A-B selection for your event, holla at me. Let's work. Let's work.
I know that's right. That's what's up. And I definitely appreciate your time. I know again you're busy, you got things going on and things to do. So I just want to take this moment to say thank you for sharing your time and part of your story with us. And we look forward to hearing more about what you're doing coming up in the future.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me. Thank you all so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. Radiate your brain, folks, and change the game.